we have here today?
What's going on, man? It's your wifey's favorite DJ, the Backblock Bully, DJ Juice Ortiz, man. Also known as Taco to most, but I go by DJ Juice Ortiz as well.
I like calling you Taco because I'm greedy. So it's my favorite. I'm Clutch, of course, of Jensen Roots. So what are we going to talk about today?
I mean, we could touch base on a little bit of everything. I know you got your brand going on. I got my brand going on. You got your business going on. I got my business. So I feel like we got a lot to talk about.
Of course. And you need to go because of the Eagles game,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Go Birds, for sure. Go Birds. That's the number one. Go Birds.
All right, you first. We go back to back.
All right, for sure. So, I bumped into you. We was actually both doing some business at another location doing the back of the class. Shouts out to them. And I seen that you had your merch with you and everything like that. And I was interested in what you was doing because, you was kind of quiet off to and you was there by yourself. Normally, people running packs, you came by yourself, handled your business, everything. So I was interested in what you was doing. So we kind of talked and you was telling me about your brand. So explain to the people who don't know what Gent and Brutes is.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so Jensen Roots is a brand made by a woman, me, for men and young men. Gents and brutes just means bringing the duality together. So being a gentleman and a brute as well, and meshing the two because we need that. Like I said about you, because you are very much a gentleman. You approached me so sweet, but I can tell if I called you and needed help, you would be there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Million percent. So yeah, it's streetwear. It's business casual. I have stuff for toddlers. So yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I was
Yeah.
actually checking out the page a few days ago when you sent it to me, and I'm like, damn, she touched a little bases. And it's a lot of brands out there that just are clothing brands that just get their logo, and then they just slap it on stuff. With you, I
Yeah.
could see that it's a little bit more detailed.
Of
It's a little
course.
bit more catered, like you said, to men and young men. Like you actually put your time in to kind of study us and what we look for.
Oh,
You had boxers on there, you
that's
had the turbans, you had a
yeah.
little bit of everything. You know the essentials for what men really
Yeah.
need in their day to day life. So what kind of cater to that? Like, what brought that idea to cater more to men and young men? Because it's more about the women nowadays and things like that. Really, it's not a lot of time put into what men put on is normally sportswear, sweatpants, hoodies, things like that. But like I said,
Got
you
you.
bring another level to it. So what kind of
Thank you.
inspired that?
I always like to be different. One, two, you touched on something that was beyond clothing, and I don't even think you realized it because it really is about women oftentimes,
Yeah, for
and a
sure.
lot of people forget about y'all. So it was very important for me to do something for you, specifically because I was in a homeless shelter, and it was
Okay.
supposed to be for everybody, but I saw them turn away men of color that were single fathers. So when I said, when I get myself together, I'm going to do something for y'all. So
Yeah.
Jensen Brutes is actually just a stepping stone for me to get my little monies up so I can have like a foundation for y'all, after school programs, sports programs, and things like that.
Okay, that's very important, and I think that's real nice what you're doing too.
Oh,
Like you
thank
said, and
you.
like I said too, we are often looked over and things like that, and just the inspiration behind it is really dope. And I definitely want to see you prosper. So if y'all haven't already, definitely go check out gentonbrutes.com. They got a
Thank
little
you.
bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the underwears, they got turbans, sweatshirts, t-shirts, travel bags, as you see here in the back, and that's genuine high quality leather.
Yes,
That
it
ain't
is.
no cheap stuff. So definitely give her a look.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what makes you do what you do? And I thought you were all of 17, 18,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
gave me like a laundry list of things that you do. So, what drives you?
To be honest, well, shouts out to my brother Uncanny. His name is Aaron Phillips. He kind of inspired it. So in my formative years, I got in a little bit of trouble. I won't go too much into detail about that,
Yeah.
but my mom it was like that Fresh Prince story. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta go live with your dad. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
gotta go kind of figure it out. And I was still a young adult because I was coming into, being an adult, but I was still kind of young, still living under mom's roof. So when she sent me out there, I was hanging out with my brother, and he was kind of already doing the music thing. He'd been doing it all through high school. So
Yeah.
when I would go out there to visit in the summers, I would admire them, because they was rappers. They was the first rappers I ever knew. Like, they had the CDs hard pressed with they
Yeah.
covers, everything
Mhm.
like that. They was going doing shows. So to me, they had made it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
That's decent.
yeah, when I moved back out there for this time, when I moved out there, he needed a DJ for one of the events he was putting together.
Mhm.
So we was just, hanging out, chilling. He was like, I need you to DJ. And I'm like, DJ? I never DJ before.
Yeah.
He like, bro, I got you. I'll show you. everything you need to know. And it kind of went off that. Then like 2 days later, I DJ'd that event and I did pretty good. And I liked how it made me feel,
Yeah.
doing it. So he just kept me doing it. We did weddings, we did bar mitzvahs, anything that needed
Bar
music, we
mitzvah.
did it. Yeah, we did it. Literally, I've done everything, funerals, birthday
Oh
parties.
my
And
goodness.
so he had a weekly hip hop show, not to be too long winded, but he had a
That's
weekly
okay.
hip hop open mic, and I DJ'd that, and I started doing
Yeah.
that. So I met a lot of artists, things like that. And where they live at in Springfield, Illinois, it's a smaller town. It's a little outside of Chicago, and it's smaller. So I had that big city mentality. And growing up out here, we had the rap DVDs and all
Yeah.
that. So I kind of had format for it, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I know I wanted to do something in the
Something.
music. So I was like, hey, we got all these local artists that are pretty dope that come through. Let's put a mixtape together. Let's just kind of do that. And it was like kind of trending down on the mixtape side, but we caught it right at the tail end. So,
Yeah.
I
I'm
started
about to do a
hosting
mixtape,
mixtape
by the way.
for sure. That's dope. And
Yeah.
so we kind of caught the tail end of that. I started hosting mixtapes. I would go into the studio, talk over people's songs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And that started garnering a lot of traction to the point where, people from out of town started reaching out to us and things like that. And like I said, he already had his traction, but they was reaching out to me. And, I was setting up shows and people wanted to pay to be on my shows.
Yeah.
So that's where all that came from. And I just been kind of pushing more on that and behind the scenes because I did want to be an artist at first. Yeah, so that's kind of how it went, and I just been pushing ever since. I at one point wanted to be an artist myself, and once that dream kind of, well, I don't want to say faded because
Yeah.
even to this day I still kind of think I got it. But
You do.
when I put that dream more towards the back and brought the executive side more
Yeah.
to the front, I've realized that I already had a savvy for business. I kind of already knew, just off of experience in life and willing and dealing my whole life, I kind of already knew that I had the business side of it. I just didn't know what I was, maintaining for the business. But then once I got that part and I knew that I had something tangible, that a product that people would appreciate, that's how that kind of spawned. Then I started reasonforrap.com, which currently is up and running, where I do all the blogging and writing myself. I do artist reviews,
That's
things like
decent.
that. So it kind of transpired like that, and I've been pushing ever since.
Oh, that's special. All right.
So for you, when did you know that you wanted to do what you do?
Um, I feel like I do what I do without thought. It's just something that was put in me. And I'm a firm believer if you are blessed with a talent or a thought comes to mind, just run with it. So I tell people all the time, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I'm doing it with confidence. That's why I was by myself because
Yeah,
I know what I come to do. I come in and I leave.
yeah, that's what's up.
So yeah, I'm just doing it.
Okay, okay. What's one thing that you could tell? Cause like I said, I'm starting my brand. Well, I'm currently, in the process of running a brand,
Mhm.
and there's things that I feel like I'm learning as I go. What's one thing that you would tell somebody that's starting their brand? Any piece of advice that you would give them?
This is good because I learned a lot by falling on my face. So I had a storefront
Okay.
and I started listening to people a lot because they were like, "Oh, you should have this color, this style, and this and that." And I did it. And people don't realize that that costs money to buy these
Yeah,
things.
yeah, for sure.
So you have an idea and an idea is free. So and I was listening and I had all this stock that wasn't selling. And it's not because it wasn't good. It was just I didn't believe in it. So the things that were selling were the things that I put my all into. So I was stuck with all this stock. So long story short, don't listen to people. Listen to yourself. Take advice, put it in the back of your head, but don't. It's your dream. So do what you need to do for yourself.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I found myself running into that issue a lot too, because I got friends that be like, "Oh, you should put this on the hoodie. Oh, you should do this and do that."
Yeah.
And not to say that they don't support, but it
They
just,
mean well.
yeah, they mean well. It's just
Yeah.
they don't understand the time and then they get that sense of, well, why don't you have this yet, or why don't? And it's
Yeah.
like it's a lot of money, especially
Yes.
when you got other things, a whole another
Yes.
life going on outside of your
Yes.
dreams, and you trying to fund it off the funds that you also use to fund your everyday life. So
Yes.
it's a lot that go into it. So I like that piece of advice. I think that can help a
Yes.
lot of people moving forward, especially starting a brand and not knowing what to have, what not to have, how to,
Yeah.
how much to have of one
Don't do
thing
too
and do,
much. That's
yeah.
my advice. Don't do too much. Do what makes sense for you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, for sure.
So my question for you, we're going to get off the business stuff.
All right.
Um, What would if you were going on a date, I don't know your situation, so I'm not stepping on toes, I'm
Yeah,
just
for sure.
asking. If you're taking someone out on a first date, what would it look like?
To be honest, I really couldn't give like a set because I like to go off that person's vibe. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So if I know, just for example, if I know you into like soft rock or certain things like that, I would try to find places that kind of cater to that. So
Yeah.
you can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Be
decent.
I'll try to make people as comfortable as possible. And I
Mhm.
want to see you in your natural form. I don't like the too much makeup or the overdressed
Yeah.
I want you to be
You sound like my son.
as cool as you are, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And then
Mhm.
like I like to kind of go off your vibe and kind of feel
Mhm.
because I like to experience new things myself and I'm open to a lot of things. So,
That's
I like
beautiful.
to be put on to things too. I feel like I
Yeah.
put people onto a lot. So
Mhm. That's decent. Good
yeah.
answer, Taco.
Yeah, for sure.
You up next. What's your question for me?
Okay, so if we're getting off the business side, um, what is your idea of a first date?
Ooh,
I'm gonna
so
piggyback off your idea. I wanna know what you think.
so I do you saw what I drive.
Yeah.
So I would put like a big old blow up mattress in the back. I said this before. And put like a sheet up so I could watch a movie on it with a projector.
Oh, okay.
So something cheap. I don't like when people lead with money because I can make my own money. So I don't need that from you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I need thought. I need effort. As long as it's thoughtful, I can take a walk in the park. I like food, so make sure
Yeah.
bring a whole like picnic basket of snacks and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, something simple and
Yeah, that
sweet.
sounds dope for sure. And I
Mhm.
like that you said you don't like men or, the person you dealing with to lead with money.
It would be
I think
men.
that we live in a culture now where money does lead a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like even on the men's or coming from a men's perspective, I feel like women, even if they got money or they're used to dealing with men with money, they lack a sense of personality. And for me, I'm real big on personality. Like your
Yeah.
personality to me can outsell anything
You
else
can't buy
that you
that.
got going on. You
Mm-hmm.
feel what I'm saying? Not saying that I would deal with anybody, but your personality to me will outshine a lot of other things that
Yeah.
people look for and people. So I like that you don't, you know what I'm saying? That's not because that's
Yeah.
not really how can I say it? It's rare these days to find somebody that isn't looking into it for the money. Of
I
course,
hear that a lot, and that's sad.
yeah, I just feel like as a human being, you should be able to do for yourself. Even coming from a men's perspective, I just feel like a lot of times it is led with money, and I don't really like that. Not to
Mm-hmm.
say that you shouldn't have your own or be doing your own thing. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when you're dealing with somebody, they just accentuate what you already got going on. Like I hate the phrase "you complete me." You feel what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's from both sides. I feel like you should be completed, and that person, like I said, should accentuate what you already got going on or
Mm-hmm.
add to, and never have to be completed by you or you be completed by them. That's too dependent, and I don't really like dependency. You feel what I'm saying?
I like both. And then I understand that people have a difficult time, just in general, doing the duality, like the gents and the brutes. Because yes, I do complete myself. I've been taking care of my children. I got a mortgage. I got all this stuff, a business by myself. But I do understand that a man will complete me. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that I say that, but I'm not designed to do this by myself. I'm
Yeah, for
designed to
sure.
be, it's with a man, doing this together because I really feel like if you had the right woman, again, I'm saying this in general.
No, no, I get you.
When you have the right woman, your altitude, like it triples.
Yeah,
So I do want a man to complete me because I don't know. I think people don't see y'all value and y'all are so amazing.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
I do like you
appreciate that for
complete me.
sure.
So
Yeah, no, and when I say that, I don't mean as far as like. So from your point of view, I could
uh-huh.
see where that complete me like it's
Hmm.
just that icing on top of the cake that you've
Yeah.
already baked. You get what I'm
I
saying?
got you. Mhm.
But if I'm coming to you and in some aspects, and every relationship is different. You could meet somebody, y'all both could be at ground zero and working together,
Yeah.
or you can meet somebody, you be up a little bit more, and they
Yeah.
work to where you at. You get what I'm saying? Is
Mhm.
but you gotta have it in you too. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
like, so when I say complete me, I feel like when a person doesn't, they feel like without that specific person or without somebody there, they can't get to that specific
I understand
goal
what you
in
mean.
life. Or
Mhm.
like if they don't have a man fronting the bill or taking care of it, then they
They don't know
not
what to
complete
do,
or
right.
they a failure in life. And that's I feel like is childish in a way.
It
Cause I
is.
feel like as an adult, again, my mom always taught me how to cook clean, how to, do
Mhm.
for self. So
Mhm.
it was never a need for a woman.
Mhm.
Now, of course, I would want a woman
Of
around, and I
course.
feel like with a woman in the household, it makes things easier and more complete. I feel more
Yeah,
wholesome with a woman around
of
because
course.
they add that softer touch. And that regard, yes, I
Mhm.
need a woman to complete me. But
Yeah.
when I say, like I said,
Not
to
basic
complete, yeah,
adult
just to
things. I
just
got
carry
you.
you along and
Right.
feed you as if you was a baby or they
Yeah.
taking care of another child. Because there's some women that without a man, like prime example, my homie, he went out a few weeks ago and he was just explaining like he went out with the girl. He wasn't really feeling her vibe, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
at that moment, he was willing to separate. She'd go on about her night, he going about his night. It was
Yeah.
still early enough. And like she didn't have enough to get herself an Uber. And like she kind of like started, disrespecting him, like, oh, you this, when it really wasn't that, you know what I'm saying? Like she was
Mhm.
just rude, arrogant on the phone while they was out.
Oh,
Like he just felt
wow.
some type of way.
Yeah.
And to end it, okay, we both in a mutual space, both equally could get home. And she was like, oh, well, you didn't pay for my Uber and you didn't do that. And it just was like, you should not go out not prepared to be able, you
Never.
know what I'm
You're
saying?
supposed to have
Regardless.
twice
So
what the bill is, twice,
yeah,
yes.
it just that type stuff I just don't see. And you're a full grown woman. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
should never, because I never go out nowhere with friends, family, nowhere and not
Yeah. Not
expect,
have.
you know what I'm saying, or expect
Mhm.
somebody else to carry. So it just
Do you
like
think
that.
that needs to be taught?
I think it should be taught. I think at an early age is more so self independence. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Drive and things like that. It's not really because after a certain age, you should know better. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I don't think that as a child, like I wouldn't teach my child always be able to take care of yourself, but I would teach them, hustle. I would teach them those so they could use those tools in
Yeah.
those situations and not really, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I don't want you to feel like, oh, dad taught me if a guy ever left me to make sure I got that. Like,
Yeah.
nah, that's not what I taught it to you for. But yes, in those moments, yes, use that.
Yeah, cause I grew up in that era when, like, in the '80s, where women were like, "We don't need no man." So I heard that a lot. So it's interesting that I didn't turn out like that because
Yeah,
I do understand I do need a man. But I guess it helped me hustle and
yeah,
understand that I do need to have my own as well, just in case, because things happen.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think it does need to be taught and life experience too.
Yeah, life experience for sure.
Yeah.
That definitely, I think life experience is the best teacher ever because you could tell me 1,000 times why something's not good for me,
Hmm.
but until I do it and
Actually do it.
realize
Hmm.
I'm just one of those people anyway. So
Hmm.
I got to go out and try. You tell me the oven's hot, I'm still going to touch it 1,000 times until I realize, you know what I'm
What to
saying?
do.
So, but luckily I've been able to catch on pretty quick. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
So
Yeah, you seem like it. You're so mature. How old are you?
I'm 31. Yeah, yeah, I'm
I'll
31.
be 41. So
That's
I'm an
crazy.
OG.
You do not look 41 at all. When I first met you, I'm like, I thought you was a young lady, early 20s. You know what I'm saying? If 20 at all. You so small and petite. I was like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? But
That's so
yeah, I
funny.
seen the hustle in you. And like I said, you came by yourself, you rep by yourself. So that just spoke volumes to me.
Oh,
So it
thank
just made me
you.
interested to see. And then when you was like, no, I'm not here. Cause at first I thought you was a musician,
Hmm.
just rapping or whatever. And you was like, no, I'm here to do an interview about my business, a brand. And we kind
Yeah.
of talked a little bit, that quick, brief exchange we had. And I was like, I want to know more. So
Oh, you're so
it
sweet.
drove me to, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
ask.
Everybody love tacos.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's awesome. Wait, is it my turn or your turn?
Yeah, I mean, we could keep it going however you want. So, all right, what is the biggest challenge so far as starting your brand and getting your brand off the ground? What's the biggest challenge you've seen, and how have you been able to overcome it?
I feel like everything aligns with how you are as a person. I always hit the ground running when I have an idea. I'm just, phew. But I didn't take into account keeping it at that level. Because when I first came out, everybody was going crazy. I was on the news and this and that. And then I was like, all right, so I have to do something different. Like
Hmm.
nobody cares when you keep doing the same thing. They don't want to keep hearing the same note.
Yeah,
So I had to adjust to that, just like I just told you when I got all that stock and
yeah.
listening to other people. So I'm just grabbing for different things to do. So I feel like that's the biggest challenge, just to hone in on your niche and not be everywhere. Because I'm always everywhere, always trying to do stuff anyway. So I think that was my biggest challenge, just to hone in, focus on this. This is what they love. This is where the money was, and stay at that.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Um, Trying to think. What's your end goal with all this? Because you can do so many things. And when people are multi talented, sometimes it's hard for us to pick one thing. You don't have to pick one thing if you don't want to, but what's your end goal?
I really don't have. I don't want to call it an end goal because I feel
Yeah.
like end goal for me is death.
Oh,
Because I won't
okay.
stop until
Right.
you know what I'm saying I die. But I just feel like it's just being the creative. in my neighborhood, I'm kind of, I don't want to say known as the mayor,
No, it's
but
okay.
I kind of, it started off as a running joke, like I'm the mayor, and then
Hmm.
people like seeing my progressive ways, seeing that I, took on being our block captain and leading a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit,
so decent.
and so I do want to kind of do community work as far as that's concerned.
Hmm.
And it's funny growing up my whole life, not even really knowing what it was, but um, I wanted to be a missionary. So
Yeah, that's
my
so
mama tell
decent.
you from 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, that's all I ever said I wanted to do was just do
Yes.
like missionary work because I love people.
Yeah,
I
I could
love to
tell.
see people happy. I love to see growth. And I think that if we all do just a little bit more than what's expected of us, we can really change the world. You know what I'm saying? And in this generation, for sure, we don't have any like vocal leaders, like no Martin Luther King types, no
Hmm.
Malcolm X's, no to where it could stand out.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of things get hidden behind social media. So I know for sure that my impact is going to become more behind the scenes, whether it's community work, whether it's building centers for kids to do like multimedia centers and things like that. So I feel like that's kind of where I see myself in a more distant future, and more you know now, just kind of stepping aside with the clothing, kind of letting people see my creative side as far as that's concerned. Hopefully helping push artists to the mainstream because I've done a lot of indie work and
Yeah,
behind the scenes for artists
that's
to get
decent.
there.
Hmm.
So just starting from the ground zero and pushing the artist to mainstream potential, things like that. That's kind of where I'm at now. I really don't see no end goal because I'm in it. So it's
Yeah,
like I'm just
just keep
taking it day
going.
by
Hmm.
day, and
Hmm.
then the opportunities come so naturally. It just feels like, all right, well, this I think I'm gonna be done with. And then a new opportunity and knocking, I'll be like, it's a new project. Let's start.
Yeah,
Let's. So whenever I feel like I'm getting to, I'm slowing down, something else always comes out. So I really don't have no end goal. Whatever comes my way, whatever the Lord has meant for me, I'm
you with
willing
it.
and ready,
Hmm.
and just doing all the preparation now to get to that point.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you believe in double standards?
Um, yeah. I get told often that I kind of set double standards, and not in a negative way, but for women, per se, I always take the softer approach. So they
Hmm.
hate that I'm like that. You know what I'm saying? My
Hmm.
friends, they say I'm soft for that, but I always like, the stereotypical man, how they think and how they act, and I just kind of think outside that. So I think that with that, I
That's
do
nice.
hold the
I
double
like
standard for
that.
women,
Yeah.
and then yeah, for children, stuff like that. Like just
Yeah.
it's different for them
We're
than
little
what it is for us.
flowers. You're supposed to
Yeah,
treat us
yeah. So
nice.
for men, I think that yeah, we live by a different code. We act on a different code. Our moral compass is a little different. So yeah,
I love that you said
it's
that
definitely
because I agree with double standards as well. I'm not going to
yeah.
treat my daughter like I treat my
Yeah,
son.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And even with my kids, I do the same thing with them. Like my
Yeah.
son could do it, my daughter can't.
Right.
And it's not in the I don't want you to do it. It's just more so if I look at you differently.
Of
You get what I'm saying?
course.
And then even sometimes too, I have to catch myself like I can't be that way more towards my son than
Hmm.
my daughter because he's gonna feel like, so I try to find that even balance where I can, but I explain to him too, even though he's
I
still
was
young,
going to
I
say, just
explain to him,
talk
it's
to
cause you're a
him.
boy.
Yeah.
These are the things that are expected of a man. You know what I'm
Of
saying? You protect
course.
your sister, you do these things. So
Hmm.
you can't be as vulnerable. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You still can be vulnerable and in tune with yourself. But also, it's a certain level of
Yeah.
sturdiness you gotta have to
Of
you. So
course.
yeah.
I was watching, I think it was like TikTok or something, and this gentleman, someone broke into their house. And of course, he told his wife to stay back and, go in there with the kids. And he was saying he didn't have a chance to feel. And people were like, oh, yeah, men don't have a chance. And this is my whole platform. I love to hear y'all talk about
Yeah.
being vulnerable because I always want you to feel that way with me. But I think it has to be understood that that whole duality, like, yes, at that moment, you can't be crying with your wife.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. No, for sure. You gotta step up and be the leader. For sure. You gotta
yeah,
be the alpha. And
yeah,
it's that trickiness of finding that balance. You get what I'm
exactly.
saying? Of
Yep.
finding it, but once you find it, it's such a sweet spot because, and again, it comes into having that woman around to complete you, where you can be in
Yes.
those vulnerable states and those
Mm-hmm.
moments, and I think that, and it's sad because I think our society has become so heavily based on who could be the toughest, who could be
Mm-hmm.
the this, that, and the
I don't
third.
want to
Where
be tough.
and I tell people all the time, like dealing with me, especially women,
Hmm.
coming of age, I always used to tell them like if you want a thuggish ruggish bone. I'm not that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a '90s I'll be sure type dude. So I carry it
Cracking
like
up.
that. Now I can be
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We all got it in us.
You
I
the
just
gent
think
and
that
a brute.
I've been
Mm-hmm.
able to, yeah, of course, a gent and a brute. I've been able to channel and kind of decipher the two.
Mm-hmm.
And in those moments, I find myself having to be the protector,
Mm-hmm.
and you can you can in an instinct feel. It's not that you can't feel. I just think that we have to know, okay, it just has to be, you know, put to the back for this split second, but
Mm-hmm.
also to go back and revisit and take care of those things, because you can develop certain mental health issues
Mm-hmm.
with just always trying, like you can't be hard all the
All the
time. You know what I'm
time.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that especially with the youth, they just too hard all the time. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy yourself. Let your hair free. Sing a
Laugh.
song. Sing,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Do something different to
Mm-hmm.
to to free your mind of those pressures that we deal, especially being young black men. We get pressured every day just walking out the house.
Mm-hmm.
So that added pressure that we add from our friends and ourselves, and that, I just feel like we just need to find bigger platforms and better platforms to be free,
Yeah.
speak how we feel, and also know that you protect it in a certain layer of manhood that we can
Mm-hmm.
all, lean on each other.
That's
You
where
get
I
what I'm
come in
saying?
too. Women are supposed to protect you guys as well, but more so emotionally than you guys protect us physically, if that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
for
Yep.
sure, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And I think too, also, men, we do have to hold each other accountable. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? A
That's
certain
true.
level of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel in a certain way, or if I see one of my friends going through something, I got to be accountable as his friend to be like, yo, bro, what's going on?
Why you do that? Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Take the lead. We don't never want to seem vulnerable to our friend. And it's like, just because you care don't mean you vulnerable. Just,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Taking that extra
You
step.
human.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
check. And I just want people to tap back more into that and soften up a little bit. Let's be happy. Like,
Right.
the way the world's going, we don't know how much more time we got. So just enjoy it while we're here. You
And
know what I'm
laugh.
saying?
Yeah. Joshua. Oh, good. That's so funny.
I was like, I'm gonna get my piece in just so I could do a little producer style you was talking about. But just to piggyback off of what y'all was saying, like I've noticed it for years. I got a bunch of nephews. Even if I didn't have that, I've seen pictures of black men and taking pictures as a black man, right? But DL, who DL Hughley
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
he mentioned something I think maybe like 3 days ago, and he was saying like it's crazy when you look at a lot of pictures of young black males, not even just young, but young black males, old head stuff like that. Nobody smiles,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
almost as if like
A
that's some
sin.
sucker stuff
Right.
to smile
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
picture.
The smile is
And as simple
crazy.
as that is, just like man, that's crazy. Because I see my nephews do it all the time. My nephew, my nephews are boys. Boy, I ain't gonna lie to you, because there's seven of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they
The
Yeah.
boys.
rough around the edges, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, for sure.
they reel it in when they need to. But I'm like, you could clearly see they don't smile because they don't think it's cool. Like it's not
Yeah.
cool for a young boy,
Right.
which I think is tragic.
Yeah.
That what I mean, that we got to hold up this facade that's like it's not sustainable. You know what I mean? So as corny as it may sound, like I like to see young black dudes in the picture that can smile. Just like
Black
no,
Yeah,
boy
like yo,
for
bro,
joy.
sure,
bro,
for
I got
sure.
Yes.
the room
Mm-hmm.
to smile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think this is powerful, man. That this sort helping these young black kids acknowledge like some of our behaviors and be like, why is it that we do that? Like, why don't you smile in pictures?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that was a powerful statement.
Yeah, for sure,
Awesome.
and I like that too. I didn't hear that, but I want to piggyback off that, because I feel like too, it's they don't understand the power in the smile. You get what I'm saying? Like, just
Mm-hmm.
to see that, like, if you, it could ease your mind a little bit, then make
Yeah.
you a little bit more comfortable. It could just, you know what I'm saying, brighten your day. And I don't want them to feel like they not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of these kids, especially because they don't have, they might come from a single parent household, or might not have the newest of the new, whether it be clothes, whatever the case may be. You still worth it to somebody. And it might
Yeah.
not seem like it, and it might seem like you fighting against everything in the universe. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to get better for you. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to get easier. Just stay focused in what it is that you want to do, and know, you know what I'm saying, it gets greater later. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so cliche, because when I was coming up, I was blessed to have not only my biological father around on the occasions that he was, but I had a stepdad that took me in at 2 months old, and has
Oh,
been a part of my
that's
life the
decent.
entire time. So
Mm-hmm.
I've got to see both ends of manhood. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And growing up, I resented my stepdad, and didn't resent him because he taught me a lot. He loved me, you know what I'm saying? But resented the fact that my biological dad wasn't there. So I took
Yeah.
out a lot of aggressions on him and my mom and things like that that wasn't really warranted. And
Mm-hmm.
it took a lot of self a lot of self digging within myself to kind of
Yeah.
see that it wasn't their fault. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
did
of
the best that he
course.
can, and I grew a level of appreciation. But one thing he never did was not be a support system. You get what I'm saying? So when I was going through those things and I would have my outbursts and things like that, he never shunned away, as disrespectful
Oh,
or out of pocket I could have been. You know what I'm saying?
that's
He
sweet.
he knew that it was going to get better for me. So even to my years now, being a dad of myself, I look back at the way he treated me, and I just appreciate, because I was blessed. I got friends that weren't as blessed, and I've seen where their lives have turned out,
Yeah.
and how important it is to have men role models. So even with the
Yes.
neighbors on my block, my nephews, and even my son, I try to be that for them. I'm not always there, but I try to lend an ear, lend a couple bucks, lend time, lend anything, so that they don't turn out that way. You know what I'm saying? And I just want them to know, like, it is somebody out there that can help you, that can get you
Yeah.
to that point.
That
And
loves you and doesn't
yeah,
want
and the
anything
world
from
don't
you.
hate you. The world don't hate you. The world don't. And be comfortable with being yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be comfortable with the things that you want to do. And it might look goofy to your friends. It might not seem as cool. But if you want to do it because you're going to be the fullest you that you can be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
I
you'll
love
tap
that.
into parts of you that you feel like you couldn't see in other aspects of your life. So
That was deep.
for
I like
sure,
that.
for sure. Like, cause I wanted to act when I was younger. All right,
Yeah.
so small little story. I wanted to act when I was younger, and I wanted to take theater in
Yeah.
school, in high school. And in that time, early 2000s, things like that, mid 2000s, 2010s, it was the bulge of like the burst of the hip hop culture, where the smoking every day, the drinking every day, the
Yeah.
sipping lean and doing drugs. It was like that Lil Wayne era was like
Yeah.
really in full swing. So it was looked upon as corny to want to do those things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And as bad as it killed me to want to do it, I never took the opportunity to do it. And it is, ironically enough, some of the people that would laugh are kind of doing it now.
Yeah.
So it's just like I should have just believed in myself. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Took that. And sometimes, even if you don't have that support system in that aspect, just to push yourself and know that if you feel comfortable doing it, just do it.
Yeah.
And who's to say where I will be at in life? So, just believe in yourself. If you want to do it, don't matter who it seemed corny to, do it for you. You
Where
know
do
what
you
I'm
think
saying?
that
Do it for
confidence
you.
came from?
It came from two things. I think it came from a conversation I had with my biological dad, from the traumas that I had.
Yeah.
And I hate calling them traumas,
Yeah.
but
Things you went
it
through.
is, yeah. There's things that I went through. I had to have that conversation with him. I've had to have that conversation within myself, to say that I am worthy. I am, I am worth those things that I feel
Yeah.
like I desire in life. And the conversation with my stepdad and my mom. I think
Yeah.
those things all together kind of built that level of confidence. Like, I'm prepared for life, because it was things with my biological dad that I had to get over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I had to address and get out of my system. Then it was situations with my mom and my stepdad that I had to apologize for. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Oh, I
saying?
love
Because
that.
a sense of guilt,
Yeah.
when you look at yourself and you do things, and you could do it without nobody ever realizing that you did it or anything like that, but you know what you did.
Yeah.
And that guilt eats you up
It
inside. And once you
does.
get to that realization that you were wrong, it's best to just apologize and move on, because you're gonna carry that around all the time, and you're gonna feel like a sucker, and
Yeah.
you're gonna feel like you did goofy. You know what I'm saying? It's goofy stuff. So until you can look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I did do that, and own it, you're gonna always carry that. So that's a part of growing up too, and moving on as a man. You know what I'm saying? Facing those things. And then within myself, like I said, just telling myself that I was worthy, and kind of analyzing those things that were stopping me from being confident, whether it was my weight, my height, my this, my that. And I'm like, I started looking for things in other people that are in those positions that I want to be in. And I said, you know what? Well, they dealing with this. Well, they dealing with
Yeah.
that. Well, they dealing. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm not dealing, excuse my French,
You
but I'm not
good.
dealing with what they dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And it's, everybody got their own problems. And no matter how high up you get, you're going to always have some, turmoil in life. So it's just like I could either deal with it and make the best of it, or I could let it be the reason why. And I just stopped making excuses. You know what I'm
Good. I
saying?
love that.
That's one thing too. Like,
That's deep.
holding yourself accountable. You said you was gonna do this. If you don't do it, you only letting yourself down. I just was tired of letting myself down. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. So I did this so I can get closer to my gents and my brutes. And I stay in the house, so people don't know a lot about me. So the last question is always something about me. What would you like to know about me?
Um. All right. I want to make it a good one. If I'm going to ask you a question, I definitely want to make it a good
Everybody
one.
says
Um. how do you maneuver as a woman
Mhm.
in the field that you're in, dealing with men and women? How do you maneuver and staying true to yourself, not only as a person, but as, because it's easily get caught up, you know what I'm saying? Especially because I'm sure you deal with a lot of handsome men and things like that. How do you maneuver and stay true to what your mission is without getting caught up on the other side of things? Because we often see that, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So how do you maneuver through that?
I want to say I'm lucky, blessed, whatever you want to say, because I've been this person since I was like 7 years old. So
Yeah.
I've been me. Um, I stand on business. I was alone because I know what I came there to do.
Hmm.
That's it. And I'm leaving. I've always been that way. I know my kids are depending on me. I know I have college bills, a mortgage. So I can't get wrapped up in goofy stuff because my kids are my everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So I always think about how my daughter sees me. And if she sees me moving and getting stuff because I'm on my back or my knees, what kind of woman is she going to be? So I'd rather her see, I don't want her to see me struggle, but I want her to see that mommy did this, like
Yeah,
on
it's
her own.
another way to get it other than.
Exactly, doing all that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And as far as my son, I don't want him, because he's a sweetheart. So I don't want him to get caught up with any type of woman. I want to be the example of what he brings home, marries, and I ultimately will be my grandchildren.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's what keeps me going with every move I make is for my boo boos, for my babies. So
Okay, yeah, for
so
sure.
that's what it is.
Okay.
Anything you want to say to wrap it up?
Um, well, yes, it was a pleasure sitting here with you
Oh,
today.
okay.
Go Birds. And three, if you're looking for me, you could definitely find me on Instagram at the biggest taco, Big Taco from Third. I got a clothing brand, Petty Cash Worldwide, that I'm definitely y'all gonna see a
You
lot
better,
more shaking and
yes.
moving this year with that as far as that's concerned. If you're an artist or entrepreneur, anybody that just wants to sit down and have a conversation, you can always reach me at Reason for Rap. That's my Instagram page for my media business and things like that. And that's kind of really it for real, for real,
Yeah.
for real. And
I
like I said, it was a
appreciate you
pleasure
so
coming to
much.
sit down and talk to
Yeah, it
y'all. I had a
was.
good time.
Literally met you in 2 seconds. We like best friends. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely was a good vibe. Definitely a good
Oh,
vibe. And I appreciate you for having me.
thank you.